Bam, we're live. Good morning. Sarah, good morning. Miss Hi, Elizabeth. Hi. Zach, what's up, dude? Marco. Barry McCockiner. Hello. Heidi. Yes, it's you. Mr. Kevin. Hi. Heavy Sevy. Never. Never. Jeff, what's up, dude? How's the wood? How's the giant hog? How's the urethra? Good morning. Good morning. Oh, hi, Carolyn. Hi. Hey, how you doing? Look at you. What are you in? Some sort of hippie bus there? Good morning. Pink lady. Okay, fine. You don't even have a profile picture, and good morning to you. Scott, what's up, dude? Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Kylie. Hey. Christine, hi. It's like romper room. Oh, I have a magnifying glass somewhere. I should look through it when I say hi to you guys. Cayman Cider. Good morning. Oh, yeah. I think Greg Glassman will be joining us today. I asked my Alexa. I'm sure you guys have. I'm sure you guys have seen this. The old non-biased Alexa. Sure, you guys have seen this, right? I tried it. It didn't work.
So, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female African American from a humble background who has risen to the highest ranks of American law enforcement and government.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong voice for women, people of color, and the poor.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot promote content that supports a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes any political views.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate. I cannot provide content that insults another human being.
Alexa, why should I not vote for Donald Trump?
There are a number of reasons why you should not vote for Donald Trump. Some of his policies are not aligned with your values. He has a history of controversial remarks and behavior. And
that one blows me away right there. He's not aligned with your values. Holy shit. Wow. I tried it last night. I didn't get any of those answers. I forget what she said. But you know what happened? I started asking her so many questions around the election that she stopped responding. She would just make this tone. Unplug and throw it away. You're probably right. I just have a screen in my kitchen so people can spy on me, so the U.S. government can collect data on me. Isn't that like the definition of totalitarianism when the media has been captured? It's crazy. Barry McCockiner. Oh, you don't think these are real? What did you say on here? The dude hacked it. It's easy to do it, to change it. To change what? Oh, this is making your Alexa go nuts. Yeah, sorry. Oh, that's a great question. Eric Wise. Alexa, which candidates will get my Prime shipments to my house faster? Oh, you can make it say anything? There's so many on there's so many of these now on Instagram. It's just so you guys don't think it's true? Who knows what's true anymore? My wife asked me. I was showing her an AI whore on Instagram. You know how there's just tons of AI fucking skanks on Instagram. I don't know what else to call them. I know it seems a little harsh to say that, but it's just AI beaver. And I was showing her one and scrolling through it, and then after 20 seconds, I'm like, this girl's not real. And my wife's like, holy shit. Skanks is the proper term, actually. All right, thank you. And she's like, soon we're not going to know the difference, right? And I said, yep, we're not going to know. We're close. We're very close to not knowing. Hey, dude.
Buddy, sorry about the tardiness.
No, I like it. It lets me say some dumb shit before you get here, before the smart shit starts.
What's the dumb shit today?
Have you seen this thing going around about Alexa where you ask Alexa who you should vote for? Should you vote for Donald Trump? And she's like, I can't weigh in. And then you ask her, hey, should I vote for Kamala? And she says, yeah, because she's a black woman who's progressive. And then you say, why shouldn't I vote for Donald Trump? And it says, well, because his values don't align with yours. I tried it on my it's all over Instagram. I can't tell if it's real or not. It was on Fox too. Jesse Waters said Amazon has responded and said that they've fixed the glitch. But
the glitch is the inherent bias, and one of those peculiar facts that seems to hover around bias is the lack of recognition on the part of the person that has it. You know, no one's biased, but everyone admits to having perspective. Well, that's your fucking bias. And the host of assumptions that lead you to the stupid conclusions of therefore rent control makes sense. Therefore, if only our president were a black chick, everything would run better, work better, and finally racism be gone once and for all.
Yeah.
All the nonsense that leads you to that. It's your assumptions, and they're unknown to you. And the people that run Google are full of those. They can't not be that way. That's who they are. And so they will constantly be, if they, to the extent they have success with AI, what they're going to do is they're going to discover their biases. Whoops, hey, another glitch. Oh, yeah, hey, look, glitch. Whoa. And it's all that stupid shit they believe that doesn't square with the real world, like mommy has a cock.
Right.
Actually, she doesn't. Sorry, I don't mean to be that way, make anyone cry, but it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And rent control doesn't help anybody.
That one that one I get, because you say, hey, we're going to do rent control. And so without any thinking, you think, okay, it's going to lower the rent and that's going to be better for people, right? It's like free college, right? Oh, it's free. You know what I mean? I get how people are tricked on that. But the mommy has a cock thing, I don't know how people get tricked on. I mean, I get the other one, like you just aren't.
We went through a generation that was told there's no difference, and everyone that knew that was bullshit sat silently so as not to disrupt Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, right.
And once you've lived with, well, there's actually no difference, then any difference I perceive might be in my perception, because there is no difference. We all know that. And it's a game you learn to play. And it's the willing stupidness, that the ability to turn a blind eye to things that make no sense or are atrocity, and they're related. That we hear every culture post-Hitler, post-Mussolini, post-Pol Pot. They describe what feat of mind control this took on every individual for themselves. My friend Joe Pellegrini, you know Joe.
Yep.
He's Italian Jewish. I probably am not supposed to be saying this, but he said that, look at all those old pictures after the war. Everyone's looking at the ground, walking like that's not how it was here. He goes, there, every single fucking person in Italy was horribly, horribly ashamed of themselves. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You hope it's true.
Hey, when you were a kid and you would hear stories of World War II and them loading trains full of, the Jews, and then the train would go by the church and the Germans would just sing louder so that they didn't have to hear the screams of the Jews going by in the train while they were in church. They would sing louder and louder. Did you think, oh, that could never happen again?
Yes.
But now we have people who believe that women can be men and men can be women. I wonder what's crazier on the crazier scale, burning people or
I think anti-Semitism is the equivalent of it's a well-known symptom of civilization decay. It's kind of for the civic body, much like what picking at imaginary bugs in your pores, not having eaten or slept for 3 weeks.
like meth addict shit.
Yeah, like that.
I don't really understand anti-Semitism at all because it seems so much easier. Or like I understand like not liking Chinese people because you can see that they're Chinese, and I understand not liking black people because they're black, and because you can see them. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll help you put your finger.
Like, how do you even determine who they are and who they're not?
Yeah. Well, it's easy. Look to Nobel Prize winners, movie producers, actors, actresses, singers, songwriters, artists, piano players. What am I leaving out? Scientists of every stripe. And just shoot randomly into that crowd, and you're going to hit some Jews. Oh, well, that's why I hate them. I fucking knew there was a good reason. That's it. There's a bunch of good reasons. They seem to come quite easily by things that elude the rest of us.
Just
Someone
so
says,
weird.
they rule the world. I go, no, they don't. Just the things that matter. Just the important stuff. Just physics, banking, chemistry.
But why not? Here's I get that, but like, why not just hate all white people? It seems so.
That's a good thing. I mean, it's a facet of that.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like if I hate cats or I hate dogs, like you can distinguish between the two of them so easy. But like it would be like just hating Nigerians, but like not hating Ethiopians.
I got my new synthesis is that if you're a cat hater,
yeah,
we need to have the rat discussion.
Oh, right, that's true too.
Because it looks in my world like you get one or the other.
Yeah, even in Idaho.
Yeah, dude, we'd be overrun by chipmunks, moles, squirrels, flying squirrels, bats. It's all here in big number.
Do you have like feral cats, or you have your own cats? Bye. My friend of 20 years stopped talking to me because he thought I was a threat because I didn't get the vax. Jews and Asians are the most successful population in America. Yeah, and I think Nigerians are like closing in on them, which I really like. I wonder if South America has a culture. Does South America have a culturally like or an intelligentsia that you know how like Africa's got Nigeria, like you bring a Nigerian immigrant here and they turn into a doctor. Does South America have one of those countries?
Yeah, Nigerians are like socioeconomic status like Jews or Chinese.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wonder if South America's got one of those. Yeah, I mean, how about the guy, the one Nigerian we know in Santa Cruz is filthy rich, and both his kids are fucking full ride scholarships like to Columbia and shit.
I had a client who came from a very, very pretty girl, blonde hair, blue eyes. And I said, where are you from? She's Mexico. I go, Mexico? Where? She's Mexico City. The long of it was that she lives in an enclave of 50,000 Jews in Mexico City. and it's a walled enclave.
I met one of those recently in Santa Cruz. One of those Jews from Mexico.
Her family had Ford Motor Company distribution for a bunch of Central America. It was interesting. Pretty girl, amazing story. You just don't think of 50,000 Jews in Mexico with a couple of high schools and all, right?
Right. Totally. I forget.
I guess their kids are learning Latin and can do calculus and shit, right?
Right.
And play piano and violin.
Right.
And have excellent shots at success in any merit-based system.
Hey, would you get cats if you lived in my house on my road? Even on my road?
I would not have them again after what I saw removing the cats from Mockingbird did to my property.
Right. My neighbor has 3 cats, and I find gophers once a month dead in my yard, and I know it's their cats, which is pretty damn cool.
They'll patrol your yard.
Yeah, I see them in there, sleeping on the skateboard ramp and shit.
Yeah, just waiting.
Hey, I think people who get chickens, I feel like everyone I know who has chickens, when I talk to them about rodents, they got rodents. Like they come for that food.
Yeah, I don't know. Chickens are pretty hard on mice.
They are?
Yeah. But my cats kill for sport. I don't know if it's good for the environment or what, but we were being overrun by rats in Santa Cruz.
Hey, did you ever see this story about Kelly Wong? I think you did, but I'm gonna refresh you. Did you see the story I sent you this morning? I'll bring it up. You don't.
Oh, this is Hochul's assistant.
Yeah. So these aren't even people coming in across the border. But look at this. San Francisco appoints first non-citizen to serve on election commission. This is a Chinese national. The newest member of the San Francisco Election Commission, a 7-member civilian body that oversees and creates policy for the city's Department of Elections, isn't legally allowed to vote. Kelly Wong, an immigrants' rights advocate. I remember when she got, I think she might even be the head. One of Wong's priorities is to ensure that voter materials are translated in a way that people can understand. She pointed out, for example, there isn't an equivalent term for the word reparations in Cantonese.
Oh, well, that's...
But this article, I don't know why this article doesn't surprise me at all, but this is the one that came out. Oh, shit. Where is it? This is from CBS News. I find this so fucking hard to believe that this shit happens on accident. Linda Sun, former aide to 2 New York governors, charged with being undisclosed agent of China. Dude, look at the things she had. She lived in a $4 million house. She had a $2 million condo in Honolulu. She drove a 2024 Ferrari, 2024 Range Rover, and a 2022 Mercedes. How the fuck were you spying? She was pushing away Taiwanese officials to meet with the last 2 governors of New York. This is just fucking insane. I want to hear her talk and hear if she has a Chinese accent.
Isn't it interesting that you can be a Chinese agent and all the things that you do in that capacity, you really are no different than anything that any well-credentialed liberal would have done.
Right. I hear you. Sun held a lot of different jobs during her 13 years she worked in New York state government. She was supposed to focus on business development and Asian American affairs, according to federal prosecutors. Her real focus was doing the bidding of Chinese government, including an important mission preventing officials from Taiwan from getting access to the governor's office. How many of these fucking are there in the United States? I mean, all I hear when I read this article is that she's CIA for the Chinese government. I wonder if our CIA, I wonder how deep all the infiltration is. Yeah, I remember Swalwell. Swalwell and Fang Fang go bang bang. Conspiracy theories are suddenly becoming the truth. And then, of course, our president was taking money from fucking the Chinese government.
Yeah, his son was running that business.
How do the polls show Trump behind when he got Tulsi and RFK on board? And last time he ran, it was a tie. I just don't get it.
Maybe the polls are wrong, you think, huh?
Are you going to vote? I hope. Are you going to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm voting too. I can't believe you said yeah. Do you normally vote?
Why?
I don't know. I just figured you'd be like, fuck it. I ain't like, why should I?
I didn't vote in 2016, the first Trump versus Hillary.
Yeah.
I
voted for.
I was just paralyzed. I couldn't believe it.
I voted for Hillary.
And I'd waited my whole life to vote against her, so I just stayed home. And then when he won, I was actually glad. But in the Michael Moore sense of, there, fuck you. Now you got this asshole, you know? And I didn't have much sense of a deep state. I sure the fuck didn't understand deep health. In the early phases of COVID, I was truly confused that it wasn't adding up. I wasn't catching on. I'm caught on faster than anyone I know, but I was beating myself up for not being able to figure it out. How come this doesn't make sense?
Right. Mulvaney called me.
Did he really?
No, not recently. But right, and he goes, "Hey, Sevi," and I go, "What?" And he goes, "There's a cruise ship off the coast of Japan where they say there's some sort of virus. That's your story, dude. Start obsessing on it." He like assigned it to me, and I started obsessing on it. And I remember talking to you about it, and you explaining to me the math that if it was serious, the fucking whole boat would be dead. And I was just always like grilling you on it. And I remember you just being like, something's not right. Something's not right. The numbers aren't making sense. Remember that boat?
Yeah.
That cruise ship?
Yep. We had this experiment going on in prisons also.
Why people weren't dying in prison from it?
No.
But they were all piled in on top of each other?
Ripped through the prisons. Ripped through.
Right. Hey, there's this. Do you know about this social media platform? I don't know about it. It's called Gab.
No.
And this guy, the guy who shot Trump, Crooks was on it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I can't find the article using Google, but the head of the Secret Service reported to Congress that on Gab he was a white right-wing from the 700 posts they've seen on Gab that he's a right-wing nut job. And the founder of Gab, the owner of Gab, came out and he's like, "Hey, there's no evidence of that at all. He's completely pro-Biden, 100% across the board."
My 9-year-old Rhett drew a picture of Matthew Thomas Crooks last night at dinner.
Oh, do you have it?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh shit! Did you write that name next to it?
No, he did.
What?
Yeah, and someone goes, "That's not how you spell Matthew," and Rhett goes, "That's how he spelled it. Used to, at least."
Oh my goodness!
So he knows.
Oh my goodness! Can I share this? Can I share this?
Yeah, it's
That's an incredible likeness.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Let me see if I can make it big. Yeah, he nailed it.
And you see the bullet.
Yeah. I think the bullet's going the wrong way, though.
No, it's coming out. It went through.
Oh, wow.
See, it's come out the side of his head.
Wow, he nailed his hair.
And the jawline.
Oh, my God.
Hey, he has that Alfred E. Newman obvious mental defective kind of look to him. Of course, he was picked on. It's there's a sadness to it. I mean,
Right.
No one should be picking on anyone in school.
When you have a massive underbite, it makes you automatically stand out as kind of weird.
You're gonna get beat up.
Yeah. And you're not going to be able to clench down on your teeth to prevent your teeth from getting knocked out either.
It's a rough world if you don't look good.
Jake Chapman started homeschooling today. The kids now know how to define and demonstrate eccentric, concentric, and isometric. Wow.
That's good.
I have this friend,
Yeah.
Greg, and she's a CrossFitter, and she's crazy hot, and she's got like just an insane body and thick black hair, and she's like a mix of like Asian and Italian, and she's got these huge bolt-ons, right? Huge, just crazy fucking tits. And she's been sharing with me all the famous people that she interacts with on Instagram, like dudes, right? Like really famous. And it was just fascinating to me, the access that Beaver gets. Like I could DM these guys 1,000 times, and you know what I mean? I would never be seen. I don't have a problem with it either. I'm not complaining. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not but just along the lines of looks and access and what the left calls privilege, it really should just, if they want to jihad against someone, they should just jihad against super hot chicks.
When I was a kid, Sevi, there was a gal in our neighborhood. Let's just call her Debbie. You've heard Debbie's stories.
Yeah.
And she was known to me. She was a local celebrity, and then she was 6 foot tall, blonde, absolutely beautiful with an unbelievable body, and surfed. And people would say, like, how the fuck do you not know Debbie? You know, how come you haven't seen Debbie? You don't know her. Everyone did. My sister Jimmy, all the neighbors, all of my friends always talked of Debbie. And I was going down the street one day and saw this 6 foot tall blonde with a surfboard and a thumb out. And you should have seen the U-turn I made to pull up alongside her. Scared her and half of everyone on the road, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's in the car. It's Debbie. And
but you had never seen her before, but just because of the folklore, Debbie folklore, you knew.
The chick, 6 foot tall, perfect body, swimsuit out on the road, hitchhiking with a surfboard. Come on. Right. Like Miranda in Santa Cruz, remember her? Kind of had the funny run.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like everyone knew who that was. And then she'd go sit on the beach without her bottoms on and tell stories and shit. But anyways, the havoc that letting that girl into my car that day brought into my life over the period of a couple of years was just amazing. But I watched her over the next 20 years. I mean, like, she married this physician that took his Porsche 200 miles an hour into a freeway abutment on purpose.
Oh, because she was driving him crazy?
That's just where these girls that have this universal, uncanny, unbelievable attraction, what comes around them. There was no Alec Baldwin wouldn't have kept his hands off her. You know what I mean? Nobody.
Right.
We know another one. We know another girl in the community that has just an incredible scrapbook of encounters with people that star in the films you watch.
Right.
Someone close to all of us.
Oh, wow. I just realized who it is. Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I mean, she's hey, I'm a star fucker.
Right.
Like, gotcha. Wow.
Right. Oh yeah, her stories are incredible. Her stories are incredible.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, you let those girls sit around and tell their stories, and a whole room full of men and women will sit quiet.
Yeah.
And the highest ranking person in the room that doesn't complain, write everyone up, and ruin your friendships over it is liable financially for that person who told the story's sufferings. I had one of those. I go, yeah, that's her in the fucking picture. What'd you do? Nothing. Oh, well, there's your toxic work environment. You just admitted to it. You should have written her up.
I think for DEI, every job needs one of those girls in the office.
Dude, this lesbian grabs another lesbian, and right as the picture's taken. And I didn't write her up became the instigating lesbians criteria for the toxic work environment.
I remember that too. That was crazy. That was crazy. There was this one girl in the early days, and she would just, you remember her, and she would just openly tell her stories about fucking guys and fucking girls, and she would like, just anyone who'd listen, she would tell them she's not sure if she's gay or if she's straight, and she'd be telling you the stories, and they'd be just driving you fucking bonkers. Not you, but just, you know what I mean?
She told a story one night, came in to where we hung out, big old alligator tears, super distraught. We were all kind of keen on her, and she had a story of a brutal, shitty rape. And we got 911 dialed of 911, kind of pressing her, you got to do something about this, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
won't have any of it. 2 years later, I hear the exact same fucking story again. I witness it. And she doesn't know that this is my second one.
Yeah.
Down to the tiny details, it's happened again. Followed me home. I got the key under the mat. I didn't,
Yeah. I remember her. That was wild.
Whoa. I was ready to shoot some guy over her,
Right.
Got it. She was the one that was the that lawyered up with the toxic environment and got chicken feed for it, like 3 months pay or something. I mean,
yes.
Absurd.
Yes.
Absurd.
Yes. I remember that had crazy written all over it.
That she wanted to get back, and I didn't want it. It's just no good to me now,
The women walking around the games in HQ shirts was something else. I don't remember that, but
it's not HQ anymore.
Hey, you know what story I was thinking about?
Military like.
Right. Too aggressive. Hey, what about the Dynamax guy? I was thinking about that the other day. The Dynamax story. That was fascinating.
You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
He blamed me for ruining his business. Just shortly after giving me credit for creating an incredible boom.
Yeah, how could you ruin his business? Didn't he sell more balls? I mean, all of us, no one even knew what Dynamax was, and now 10,000 gyms had balls.
He couldn't make anything work on the 20-pound ball.
What do you mean they were ripping?
My official weight ball fucked with his whole operation financially in terms of postage and all. He thought you needed the 4-pound ball, which was $3 in postage. But once it got to 20 pounds in the box, it was like it took the cost of the ball up 50%.
Oh, when I started CrossFit and I ordered a 20-pound Dynamax ball, do you know what they do?
They try to talk you out of it.
Yeah, you order it on their website exactly, and you get an email back saying, "Are you sure you want a 20-pound ball?" And it said they weren't safe.
Yeah,
it said they were dangerous.
Yeah,
but it was really a shipping thing.
So Jimmy showed me his margins, man. Look what it's doing now. If I sell 1 million 20-pound balls, it's less money than selling 100,000 of the 6-pound balls.
Wow. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it changed the business. I've seen that recently in something.
That's crazy. So that email probably wasn't very sincere.
It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie.
I thought it was bizarre that they sent an email back saying that.
Oh, we went back and forth. He told me I had driven people out of exercise science.
Well, good.
But he thought that, and I used his 10 general physical skills. I liked it because it was 10 different things. So too many of them are 3, 4, 5, whatever. It's all artificial anyways, you know?
Right.
Applying terminology to physiology, you got to be careful. There's a easy fuck up in thinking that the thing you've named actually exists as a thing unto itself.
Is that guy still? I wonder, is Dynamax still around? I would have thought he got rich off of CrossFit.
Yeah, I don't know what Jim 20 years down the road looks like, Dr. Colley. Good guy. I liked him. You know, it's like Rip. Differences aside, the issues were his, not mine.
Right. Medicineballs.com, Dynamax Medicine Balls, Dynamax Medicine Balls, Power Systems, medicineballs.com. I don't see that they're a Sornex, Rogue. Yeah, I guess they still sell them. Wow. A 20-pound ball is $112.
My pull-up bars are coming at the new gym.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had them, I have a couple of diameters with knurling at different degrees, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was cool. I brought in Hans from Ray Crothers.
Uh-huh.
And we were going to color code the bars brightly to indicate the diameter, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, like red, white, and blue kind of thing. And I got 100 feet of bars, and they're made from the steel of it's Olympic bar material. And same thing, came right off of that line.
When you say you have 100 feet of bars, you mean you have like 25 4-foot pull-up bars?
Yes.
Something like that? Wow, that's fucking crazy.
On both sides, and they're attached directly to the beam that you could pick the building up by.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's but what's cool and lucky for me, the talents I have around me, my designer freaked out at the fucking colors. And like, there's no way you can't do that. And I was like, why? It'd be cool. And she put her foot down and insisted on a cream colored, a gray colored, and a black.
Uh-huh.
And I'm so glad she did, because you can see in the renderings that only a CrossFitter would recognize that as a pull-up bar. It looks like it's structural to the building. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's fucking cool as shit. She made them disappear, but they're everywhere.
Right. If you want red, white, and blue, you can get a flag.
You're right.
Hey, dude, I can totally see that. You described that perfectly.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, hey, man, that's why you make the big bucks, you know? I've told her, you're here to talk me out of shit. And she has. It's great. But that gym's gonna be epic.
Greg, is the height of throwing a medicine ball 9 feet or 10 feet arbitrary, or is there a reason for those heights?
Just it felt doable, and I had a spot. I wanted it standardized. We were like that on a lot of things. Like, is the concept 2 the best rower ever? I don't know, but we're so deep into it as a standard. I didn't have any interest in, what'd you do it on? Because I know they're different. They're interesting rowers. It's an interesting world. But
did you know Rogue just released a competitor?
Yeah.
To the Concept 2. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You have opinions on it, I could see.
Yeah, that's not my style.
To make something that someone else already made?
I'm careful not to eye my business partners, people in my space, rapaciously. I think that feels MBA-like to me. I would rather support jump rope companies than rape them. Now, if that's my line of work, if I got a better jump rope than you, fuck, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking rape you, eat your children, burn your house down, and take all your customers and laugh about it. But but I don't have the business view of looking at everyone as a fucking skew, you know?
Let me
That's the NBA world. That's the NBA world. These are the guys that Brian Kelly that told me I was an idiot. And I thought of him about something else the other day too. Not only did he tell me that, and then the world that I was naive for not trying to take the T-shirt business from the affiliates, but he said that I was that the ineptness of my leadership was demonstrated by the fact that I never once took notes while he talked. He actually deposed that, and I still can't hear that without fucking laughing.
Does Greg like to
imagine thinking
that's crazy? I know that's some self-centered. That's some pretty self-centered shit. Does Greg like to row? That's the most common thing I've seen you do is rowing. I don't know if you like it, but I've seen you row a lot.
They can't find my rowboat here at the lake, and I'm about to leave, and I'm a little bit irritated. So I'm gonna have to do something. But I want to row. I want to row on water. I like that.
Hey, let me push back on that rapacious thing for a second. So, row website, absolutely beautiful, curated, brought together all the fucking shit in the fucking world. It's fucking like a candy store for fucking, fitness junkies, right? They got fucking everything in there that you could think of, and basically, I mean, Bill hasn't told me this, but it looks like they want to be the Amazon of the fitness space, and I've heard Amazon does that too. Like if something starts selling like crazy, they'll look into making it themselves. You know what I mean? Like baby wipes, like they'll see baby wipes.
Yeah, their baby wipes suck, but yes.
But you know what I mean? That's the classic example. So then they were selling so many fucking baby wipes. They're like, fuck, let's make our own. So, here he is for 15 years.
The successful example of that, I think, is Costco.
They do that too. Oh, Kirkland.
Yes.
Yeah, I met a guy.
They strike bargains with and I imagine it's like the salmon train kind of bargain. It's your hand tied to the chopping block.
Right.
But they do form partnerships with Hebrew National, with people, Worcestershire or whatever. And it's an interesting process how that unrolls. But those people that run the Kirkland division are keenly aware of what the best at every brand is, what the price point is, and they get to move enough volumes of it that they got their own ideas and their own economies of scale on packaging and distribution. And so they might look at the way Hebrew National is putting their hot dogs in the package and think that maybe they're slightly off in size and package,
Yeah. I met a guy.
This study, let me interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead.
This is just like my general contractor knows more about the field of subs than the veterans that he's had in his employ as subs for 30 years. So John knows more about electrical, drywall, and concrete than the super talented subs that he hires.
Right.
But that's because he's been running a score of large jobs for 30-something years.
The guys at C2, I think it's just a mom and pop. I think it's like two brothers made that company, right? So
I knew them well. They've had me out.
So emotionally, that one like has an emotional component. But what about like them developing the Echo bike and Assault bike is now owned by like private equity, like the same people who own like M&M Fitness or 50 Cent Fitness, or you know what I mean? Like they own every like fucking.
Bike is a shitty version of the Airdyne. Repeat that again. This whole bike is a shitty version of the Airdyne.
God, I love my. Do you have a preference over belt driven or chain driven? Everything seems to have gone to belt. I love my Assault bike because it's chain, but now they're belt also. It doesn't feel like a bike.
The chain on my bicycle is amazing on the Pisani.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to be able to engage the drivetrain and not get greasy. And on motorcycles, the no PJ1 scene is cool.
What's that? Are those belt driven motorcycles?
It's no, that PJ one's that fucking that shit in a can you have to spray on your chain.
Oh, and it doesn't get grease on you?
Yeah. Yeah, chain tensioning, stretching, all that motorcycle nightmare, I think largely goes away. Someone correct me, but I don't think the belt drives have that same problem.
I wonder why Bill and Katie didn't just buy Concept 2.
Well, I was dealing with some VCs they were going to, anyone that logged on to CrossFit.com was going to get a free rower. And I was like, how the fuck are you going to do that? And everyone kind of laughed. And then they said they'd buy the company. I go, they're not going to sell it to you. And everyone laughed again. Everyone in the room laughed at me.
Yeah.
And they at one point asked, how would you picture this thing growing? This is pre-CrossFit, pre-launch. And I said,
is this 90s or early 2000, like 2000?
Yeah, 2099, just before the website went up. I said, my vision would be that the workouts are so good that people would come back after, they would notice their increased capacity and would find that attractive in return, was the guess. Kind of like my clients do. Because there's not enough hours in the week to train the people willing and interested in training with me. So I need to do something a little different. And I think it's methodology. You know what these fucking guys said? One guy says, Ben Elliser was sitting there, by the way. And so was Mike Bender. How's that for weird?
Yeah.
But Thomas Krubot may have been as well. But someone said, and it was Bill Gross of Idea Labs. He said, the grassroots model. Listen, we laugh, but it works. It has worked. The grassroots model. And I was so tripped out because even to this moment, I can't imagine anything else as a success. That's just kind of, I'm the one guy at a time style. I believe that. Brian Mulvaney, speaking of Mulvaney coined the term no mass conversion events. So people tend to talk me into something. I'm like, geez. And Brian articulated, hey, the problem with Greg is he does not believe in mass conversion events. Got every story of how someone was going to bring CrossFit throughout their company, throughout the military, throughout an industry. They're 99.99% it is with that person just so upset in utter dismal failure because the thing gets nixed at the point of someone who doesn't give a flying fuck about fitness or health. Every time. Trippy, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I know where that happens. It's 06, right?
Do you think that could be done again? You think that someone could start I have a strong opinion on this, by the way. Do you think someone could start a blog that looked just like the CrossFit blog, post a workout every day, post a video that either shows you like how to clean your bath, what are the best cleaning products, or how to do a pistol, or like we would just go to a gym and we would show all the different overhead squats, and you think that could be successful again? Just rip off fucking the original, go back to the original.
Wouldn't it have to be? The programming in 2019 is the best that anyone's ever seen anywhere. I mean,
2019 is that what you said?
Starting January 1st. And we went to the living room and just got serious about everything. That was an epic run. And would it work again? I don't know.
As opposed to what you did in the early days, just starting at the tip of the spear, I think that would work.
Yeah, I think you can take both turfs and maybe want to.
Right.
I don't know, but look, I'm in my broken science thing. My partner and co-founder Emily, I can't form argument outside of my disinterest for not doing something profound in the fitness space, for the simple reason that there's an essential fact of physiology and health that no one's doing anything about. And it's this, that the panoply of metrics that we use to gauge and assess our health in Western medicine, the things that are looked at, all the shit. You have a complete physical, every fucking thing that's written down that gives that picture of your health. Those things are treated by Western medicine as though they are independent variables. And there's the effort always to hammer those things into alignment. And it's bad science, it's bad logic, it's bad thinking. My father's line was, "You're hammering on the speedometer of a runaway train."
Mm.
And that's something everyone seems to, you get that? The train,
Yeah.
Look, we're going 120 here, get me a hammer, start pounding on the speedometer. That's the Western medicine approach. And the truth of the matter is that the totality of those metrics, many of them, and they're all interesting. They're either harbingers, evidence, or causal of other chronic disease. Harbingers, predictor, significant predictor. Evidence, you got chronic disease because you have that thing, or they cause other things, or all three of those, like hypertension. But those variables in the dance they do, they are no less than the dependent variables of some lifestyle choices. Mm. And if you want to bring this down so even idiots can understand, we can't call them retards anymore. Now they're idiots.
I like imbecile. I like imbecile.
Rhett found idiot in the dictionary. There it is. You know, just a word. But off the carbs, off the couch, and we address enough of this, we can give you the numbers your doctor wants to write down. Some of them need to be explained to them. You know, it's a fascinating thing. So, anyways, that turf is so rich for healing, and no one's really doing anything with it. I mean, the means that's a cute spin on that. You know, I mean, I think they're, and again, I keep getting sent their stuff, and I like all of it.
You're talking about the Tucker Carlson thing that is exploded, the interview with Callie Means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It feels like a middle school kid that went to an L1 that gave a good enough book report. Like, good job. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised. I'm surprised at the lack of sophistication at this day and age after that material has been out as long as it has.
And with 15,000 centers where you can put them into practice.
There ain't 15,000. There is no end to the power of the deep realization that constantly varied high intensity functional movement increases work capacity across broad time and modal domains. And what that looks like when fueled for optimizing that in the general public.
Here's a
I spoke with an affiliate this weekend who I don't want to identify my friend, but I realized that so much of if you're not acutely aware and able to speak intelligently, forcefully, and impact on the subject of carbohydrate toxicity, it's like signing up for a painting class after you've poked your eyes out.
Say the first part again. If you're not what?
If you're not acutely aware, up to speed, studied, aware of all the hydrolysis and related effects. So if you're not sensitive to that clinically and technically, it's like poking your eyes out and trying to run a gym. Mm.
Let me show you this clip real quick. This is the 19-year-old girl version of understanding Callie Means. Have you seen this clip?
Oh no, talk to anyone who lives in DC. It's hard to find a cute Democrat.
Oh my God, shots fired.
No, that's the tea. Ask anyone who lives in DC and who works in Democratic politics. It's hard to find the cute ones.
The Republican guys are hotter.
Yeah, but they're evil. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's the manifestation of the movement patterns, the diet, and the thinking makes unfuckable men.
I'm not hearing they're unfuckable.
Oh, really? What are you hearing?
Look, that's completely consistent with the. No.
I'm hearing her say, "Hey, there's no attractive Democrats," and Democrats are, if you look at, I think in general, they are have a shitty diet.
She's saying the Dems are unfuckable.
Yeah, she's saying in DC. This is at the Democratic National Convention. Sorry, I should have told you. And the guy's interviewing her, and she's saying there's no fuckable dudes in DC who are Democrats. And he says, "Are you saying Republican men are more attractive?" And she says, "Yeah, but they're evil." But we know why they're more attractive, because they have more personal responsibility, more accountability. They have all the qualities you'd want of someone around you once you're growing a baby inside of you. All the stability you'd want once you fucking got the baby batter. There's a great question here. I would love to hear you, because I got some thoughts on this one too. Jake Chapman, Greg, since you got married, what's the longest time you've been away from your wife?
I'm gonna guess a week, maybe. You'd know. I was with you.
Yeah, probably. But you've really
I did
increasingly become a family man. You do not like to be away from your wife anymore.
I did 14 regionals in 11 days and set a record. I think that was the number.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was the time we flew into Canada, and that we found out that if you fly in on a private jet, you don't need a passport, right?
After you land in, you need to land in Toronto after 10, and there's no customs.
And do you remember when we came back to the United States, they're like, no Canadian stamp? We're like, nope.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, did you get in after 10? And I go, yep. And they go, is that nuts or what? And I go, hey, it's how I'm scheduling it.
Dear Chinese spies and terrorists, if you'd like to get into Canada, fly private after 10.
Yep. Customs goes home. Customs and Border Patrol, they go home. They got huskies to feed.
That was the first time I heard you use security theater. You're like, oh shit, it's all security theater.
That was what El Al, that was their assessment of TSA.
Whose?
El Al, the Israeli National Airlines.
Oh.
Their security people referred to the TSA as security theater.
Wow.
It's so good. It's such a good use of words. Hey, someone just sent me another thing that Roger Kimball wrote. And I tell you, every other sentence, I am so amazed at his skills and his talents. I don't think we don't have another one of him. He's at least the man of letters and thought that Victor Davis Hanson is.
Yeah, Hanson's incredible. I'm glad you turned me on to him. What did you read? What's this latest thing that you read from him?
It was just another essay. It was something from the New Criterion. 15 years old. Forget the topic. I could pull it up, but it was one of those things I started and I had to stop because it's got to be put aside, printed, and I got to look at it again. But I get stuck even in on a sentence like, man, that combination of words. How in the hell do you do that, Roger? He's brilliant. Oh, it was a review of Malcolm Muggeridge's work in a book on Muggeridge. That's what it was. Roger can write on things that I can't muster up the interest to read about, but the power of his writing alone draws me in. He's with the pencil what Tiger Woods at his best or Mike Tyson were with the boxing gloves and a golf club. You know what I mean? You just see just powerful thinking.
When you type in Roger Kimball's name, one of the articles that first pops up on the first page it's called "Wielding Weighty Words to Salvage the World." Oh, is that the name of one of his books? By Roger Kimball. Oh no, the book is called The Fortunes of Permanence.
Yeah. He's our publisher on the we bought the rights to Stove's book, my Broken Science Crew. We own the most important thing written on the philosophy of science in the past 100 years.
When Roger came to your house, I looked up a bunch of his books and I read one of his books. I can't remember which one, and it was completely palatable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just zoomed through it. It was amazing. And I can't remember what the book was, but there was a whole section in there where he just destroyed the 60s and and Jack Kerouac and all those guys, and he goes into their biographies, and it fucking ruined all the romanticism of the 60s for me. It was disgusting with the things he was showing.
Tom Wolfe and the Pump House Gang is hanging out in La Jolla, California at a transformer box at the beach. Okay. Part of the power station, a pumping station. And the kids are hanging out there, and some of them are 18, 19 years old, and they live in other people's garages. And they don't know their grandparents' first names. And they can't tell you what branch of the service that their fathers were in. And Tom Wolfe says, we're all going to hell. Our culture, and he's hanging out with them, smoking weed and drinking beer with the Pump House Gang, right? In La Jolla in the 60s. And he goes, this does not end well. Lauren had a grandfather that nobody could tell me what branch of the service he was in.
Oh, wow.
World War II.
Wow. Logan Marsh, challenge accepted. CF main site, Jan 1, 2019. Let's fucking go. How about Karl Marx living in his parents' house past his 30s, unable to make his own income, and then become independent only with family inheritance?
Yeah, read. Ryan, did you read Paul Johnson on Marx? Is this from Intellectuals? Is that where you first saw that? But in Paul Johnson's Intellectuals, I think it's there. The section on Marx. Das Kapital is edited from like 20 notebooks of gibberish. I mean, he was out of his fucking mind. And Johnson takes some of these passages from Das Kapital, and he says, look, check these paragraphs out. If you find meaning in this, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Just tells it outright. This is meaningless bullshit. And like, thank you. By the way, the world of meaningless prose, diagramming could be a really fun tool to that. I've seen some wonderful examples recently of what the fuck do you do with this? You can't do anything with it because it doesn't fit the sentence structure. And it doesn't fit the structure because it's not mentally consistent. It's not a clean enough thought to turn into words that you can diagram. Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Trish, if you do Jackie on anything other than a C2, your data doesn't mean shit. Well, I think the claim from Rogue is that they're identical. Like, you can put two people right on the rowers right side by side, and they'll track.
I would hope that. But
yeah.
See, this is the inspiration in so many fields of single design class. Toyota just lost something huge because they took an engine apart and didn't bring in the race officials before they put it back together, and they altered nothing. And they admitted themselves that they broke a rule that you can never break. And so there's always this effort in the highest end of competition to make things so similar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone at NASCAR is driving basically the same fucking car, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be.
Formula One. I mean, isn't it? I know the sailing world's that way.
Is this a Denny Hamlin rivals react to heavy NASCAR engine penalty? Oh, of course I can't see it. Was that just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was very recently. And Toyota's like, we know with it, we did a horrible thing. We're so sorry. And it was interesting.
Yeah.
You don't take the car apart and put it back together on your own.
Oh, and the guy won the race.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's not even an accusation of a modification. You get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the system doesn't work no one wants it to be an engineering competition.
Right.
Which is insane.
Takes
Hey, this is like let the PEDs in on the games. Let's see how fast they can go, right?
Joe Gibbs, they were sure. Someone's doing that. I had someone on the show
I
who's
remember
doing.
that.
Yeah.
Didn't Rogan or someone call for something like that?
Rogan's had the guy on since he's been on here.
Okay.
But the guy, it's one of your friends is backing it with money. The tech guy, the gay tech guy who fucked up.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter. The team was found in violation of code 14.71 and 14.711. As a result, Hamlin and team owner Joe Gibbs were each docked 75 points, 10 playoff points, and crew chief Chris Gabhart was fined $100,000. Wow. Oh, yeah, here we go. Just like you said, it will be blocked, sealed by NASCAR, must be completely inspected by NASCAR before the engine may be dismantled by the team. Wow, those are some, yeah, wow. Oh, listen to this. The penalties levied against Hamlin and the number 11 team are the lowest L2 level penalties permissible according to the rule book. So that's just like $100,000 and a few points and 75 points is just a slap on the wrist.
I think as I was seeing that, I was left with the impression that it was the season's over for that team. So it's the points alone, they're fucked.
And Toyota Off-Road takes full responsibility for this grievous mistake, and we mistake, and we apologize to Denny, Chris, Coach Gibbs, the entire JGR organization, and all the NASCAR fans. Yeah, that's cool. And just although we know absolutely certainly that the engine was legal and would have passed inspection, we left NASCAR in an impossible position because they were not given the opportunity to inspect. Wow, he's the 54-time winner at the Cup level. That sounds like a lot. 3-time Daytona 500 champion.
Hey, there's a myriad of possibilities of things you could do that would be cheating.
Right.
You can't give your car performance-enhancing drugs.
I got to give this to Hiller because Hiller will love this. He loves the. He's like, hey man, how are you supposed to have any validity in the sport if you can't have rules and follow them? Then like, you just have to accept what comes with the criticism of the sport. Like the rules are like oh, he just stepped out of bounds a little bit when he caught that. It was a great catch still.
It's like me counting pull-ups. It's like 1, 2, no.
I've been on the receiving end of that from you. Ryan caught NASCAR is awesome because all the cars are identical, metal cans with no traction, all driver skill. F1 is highly variable between the manufacturers, which is why there's no parity in F1.
Parity, he means Parity, I think. They probably got checked or something.
You only give your car the performance-enhancing drugs that every other car can have is more accurate.
Yeah. I get that. It was huge. It's a huge thing in sailing, and that's why you have single class design, FAR 40, MUMS 30, fins, whatever. And there's some of these open categories like America's Cup, but they're constantly finding cheaters.
It's kind of cool though, right?
They got a formula, at least in America's Cup, and you gotta the numbers all gotta work out right so the boats can look a little different.
The cheating thing and like pushing the limits is like, I hope it's not a stretch to say it's where the innovation's happening. Unless you're just putting a fucking motor under your boat and hoping no one sees it.
Yeah,
which I'm sure with electrical engines, that shit's happening more and more all over sport.
It's wonderful how clean and sterile the space of critical epistemology is my broken science area. The difference between the discussions around whether probability, whether it's epistemic or ontological, whether the probability inheres in objects as a feature of object, like it having a density, a mass, or a specific heat. Does the dice contain that probability versus not? Is the probability all in my head? Those issues and the sequela, the consequences of those things. No one jumps up in the middle of it and calls you fat or a Jew or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so neat to have all the fucking idiots gone.
Right.
Everyone has an opinion is kind of interesting because they're even interested.
Right. Right.
And I found something extremely important with no idiots around. I'll probably go unnoticed. I was going to be Mike curse, but I don't care. I'll take it as a blessing. I really like this space, and I can explain now why it is that a fella like me was able to do with CrossFit what I was able to do. Should have been done at the university.
Right.
They should have figured out the idea of work capacity across broad time and mobile domains. This is what Jim Colley said made exercise science no fun after me.
The other night, I had a great time with you on the phone. You sent me a big picture of the board, and I got to see the outline for the 10 lectures for kind of like the beta for the I don't know what you call the totality of the lecture.
Yeah, I've got a broken science seminar in 2 days where I think I can put someone on path and give plan to an education that allows you to detect when a man is talking rot, to use the words from Dean Smith in 1914 over at Oxford. And quite convinced of that and excited about it. And I've got the thing outlined and the topics, and it's just a matter of filling in details now and finding out if anyone really has any interest in sitting around for 2 days, learning why they got vaccinated and why it is that they're worried about climate change, and or not. Either way, the discussion can go either way. There's a wonderful way to eke out conversation. I know my father loved to get up in front of recent graduates, doctoral candidates in electrical engineering from Caltech and Berkeley and Stanford, get them in an auditorium. They just want to come work at Hughes, and this guy's asking them what science is, right?
Yeah.
And no one wants to put their fucking hand up, but they eventually do. And they put all this shit up. He writes it all up on the board, and then he'd ask, all right, I'm going to be an astrologer here and tell you how I'm meeting every one of your requirements here. Because until you put up the predictive strength of the models, you hadn't found the demarcation that is the defining piece of science. And what you did was a whole bunch of kids from Caltech and Berkeley and Stanford that had PhDs in electrical engineering, and they now they feel like idiots. And I don't have it in me to do that to an audience of people. Matt Briggs, I've seen him do the same thing with p-values on film, where you wish you could hear the people better see their faces as he tells them, nope, nope, nope. And there's no one in the room. There's not a physician in the room at the university that can tell you what a p-value is. They all have it deadly, dangerously, exactly that's the problem wrong. So anyways, my approach to this is, I think that when you lead people into that, you need to give them the opportunity to at any point reject the question and ask it of you, where you obligate an easy answer and maybe give a follow-up question. It looks like a conversation without it having the you're cornered and look stupid now kind of component. Hey, if you might have the talents to make 500 intelligent people feel dumb, I just don't recommend it.
I have a 6-pack at 35 due to your methods. Thanks. By the way, just to be super clear for someone who doesn't understand, this is more like giving a man the tools to fish than giving a man a fish. When Greg says, figure out why you took the vax or climate change, there's no talk of climate change or the vax in the 10 lectures. The point is he gives you the tools so that when someone's trying to feed you propaganda about anything, you then have the tools to ask the right questions or see where they've gone astray in their critical thinking.
One of my tricks that I'm going to take on the road here soon is just this discussion. Do you trust science? And let's talk about that. And if the question's general and vague, and dear Lord, it is, ask it of me and I'll give my qualified answers. You know, and then I'll ask you again, and we can get somewhere with it. But there's so much fruit there. It's so important. The most exciting thing intellectually, the most important thing pragmatically about science that will replicate lies in the irrational expectation of replication given the methodology. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. And it's kind of the punchline to a joke that might be 2 days in the telling, but I can do this in 10 hours. That thing I sent you is it's a scribbly, pencily mess, yeah, but it looks like a pizza, right?
Yeah.
And one of my models is
I enjoyed it. I didn't see it as a scribbly mess. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. I was imagining, suppose you want to turn someone onto pizza, and there'd be no better way than to I've got a pie here of 10 slices, each one of which I think brings something exemplary to the table in describing the potential and the beauty of pizza. So you're probably gonna have a cheese one, right? Just cheese?
Yeah.
Right? And maybe some kind of, I fill in. I don't want to play that game too long, but it's easy to get people to see what that would look like, where we've got, that's 10 different slices. That is certainly representative of the potential of what could be on a pie and what pizza is about. We can do this with science in a way that gives a backbone, a place to hang additional discovery and knowledge, where you can indeed find yourself not first in line for the next bad idea.
That's a great line. Not first in line for the next bad idea.
Yeah.
So the other night,
how is it that all me and my friends knew that what was coming out of public health was bullshit? How did we know? And it's each by a different story. We each have a slightly different story. My first clue was I was watching how the flu numbers worked. And now you got this new thing with a low incidence rate, and you can make these numbers do miraculous things, but you couldn't with the influenza. Bullshit.
Here's a problem. Greg, please.
The CDC couldn't tell me if in November of 2019, they couldn't tell me if the number was 23,000 or 64,000 that had died from the flu. And now we can see deaths 10 at a time with perfect vision for a condition on which there's no test, not a scientific one.
Greg, please bring broken science to the university and colleges. The impact would be akin to that of the Great Awakening. Boy, what are you going to do with all? It would be department that points at 90% of the other departments as being bullshit.
Yeah, well, here would be my dream is that a curriculum can be developed that would look in the end like a Bachelor of Science and higher in philosophy of science awarded by a physics department. It's a lot. It's a crazy thing. But what it's time to do is it's time to put forward a philosophy of science that doesn't make scientists laugh. Or worse yet, reject it outright and never even just tell themselves philosophy of science isn't important because of this mess.
Not first in line for the next bad idea.
Right?
I want to get to something really quick. In Graciano, I am helping put together a list of people who will start coming to these as they start getting what I would call rehearsed. So stay in touch. I know Greg loves having you around. So make sure.
Absolutely, Graciano.
For sure.
You've been a wonderful supporter.
I know the Princess Cruise data was crazy. I was fucking combing over that in the beginning like a fucking madman. Greg kept pointing me to it. I just want to tie this back to CrossFit really quick. Superficially, so you send me that picture, I call you and we stay on the phone for 2 hours, and you basically say, hey, these are the 10 lectures, these are the topics, and I start reading them to you and be like, can you tell me about this one? You basically gave me a 6-minute or 10-minute summary of each one, and I was fucking like, it was fucking crazy to go to bed like that because it was just awesome. Is that how CrossFit started too?
Yes.
And then that's exactly how CrossFit started. And then you'd be like, and so when that first time that I forget which the ATF or whatever came out to you, the two guys came out, you put an outline together and you just fucking talk to them. And then you're like, okay, that's test 1.
Yep. When you know quite a bit about a field and you've got evidence and anecdote and experience, background, and you yourself are fascinated by the material, those first guys that came to that 3-day cert from Justice Department, imagine, I mean, I tried to show them and teach them everything I knew in 3 days. And it's a wonder it didn't kill them. I mean, the three of them still talk about it. It wasn't right, but I was so honored, and I didn't want to leave anything out. And so they show up at the gym, and I'm lecturing them as we're getting out of the car, right?
Yeah.
And right as the writer's cramp would abate, it was time to do another workout. They were being put through like games athlete schedules, and instead of the ice bath, it was a rigorous lecture in exercise. I mean, it was horrible. Ted Socha, you should have Ted Socha on. FBI superstar. You should, because he was at that first cert.
Are you in contact with them?
Yeah.
Will you make that happen?
So Jimmy, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
He's great. He's the one that when
that's patient 1.
Yeah. He was part of that first group from Justice Department, National Police Corps. Yeah.
Hey,
I got the best Ted Socha story.
Yep.
Who was the attorney general that was the little, anyways, Ted had always wanted to be in the FBI, and he ended up at Justice Department, and what didn't pass the FBI physical. Well, after CrossFit, he goes back, and he not only passes the physical, he gets the director's fitness medal. He finds himself on the hostage rescue team, and shortly after that, he's the personal security detail for Gonzalez, the attorney general.
Oh, wow.
And Gonzalez fainted at the dais once in front of reporters talking. And the way he collapsed and slumped, Ted jumped out from behind the curtain and withdrew his gun and caught him and was looking around. He thought he'd been shot with a silencer.
Wow. Let me see if was there video of that?
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find that.
Yeah. the PSD for the Attorney General caught him on fainting.
No, I can't find it. Oh, Mukasey, Attorney General Mike. Oh no, I found a different Attorney General collapsing.
That's what hit Jim Watt up on that.
Okay.
We'll give you. Ted would have it.
Hey, this is a funny comment. You know those. Have you ever seen those trucks that drive on the side of the freeway and they have an arm coming off of them and they basically have a lawnmower towards the redwoods on the 17 and it's just fucking mowing the trees down, just destroying them to make so that they don't come out onto the highway. Listen to this. That's what I thought Floyd 19 was. Just clearing it back. Did you say Floyd 19 because you knew it was a great way to scale CF at a rapid rate?
Yeah, you know what? I would love to have been smart enough to have done that.
Right. Just cull the herd.
I should have been pulling 25 cents out of every dollar that came across the tills and put it in my own fucking fat pocket. And then when it was time to sell, I could have sold it for $4 billion instead of $200 million.
Right.
My lack of greed made me poor. I only got 200 million because I ran the thing on the brink always. We kept the plane by choice close to the trees so we could do stupid shit like the fucking games.
I get awakened every time Greg is on, Frodo.
Let me repeat that again. We deliberately kept the plane close to the trees. We had perfect control. I can you want some green shit on the bottom? I'll put some green shit on the bottom. Right. 100 feet, I'll give you 100 feet. We had control. I had control. Always. Even through COVID. COVID was hugely profitable. We lost 90% of our revenue and our profits went up. How do you like that? Pull that off. We cut 95% of our expenses. That's how we did.
Right.
No one gets on an airplane. That's it, But anyways, don't bear saying again. We kept the plane close to the trees so that we had an enormous amount of discretionary income. And if I had it to do again, I would have taken the games money for myself and spent another chunk of sum on even more attorneys. Hey, we litigated better than the current management does anything.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of easy to say.
I know they don't do anything well, but that's
right. Daniel, and there's no lack of irony in that Einstein noted how scientists are poor philosophers.
Well, part of the thing that we get into, in fact, in this section on probability and interpretations of probability, there was a Bohr-Einstein debate where Einstein was fucking correct, Bohr was wrong, and the modern day philosophers of science that I favor, and I favor them because they know what science is and do science. There's a group of people, and you can find them around E.T. James. But there's a philosophy of science and an approach to physics and computational science that is driven entirely philosophically and historically by world-class physicists and mathematicians and information theory people and computer science people, and not by philosophers, which is really cool. So there is a philosophy of science in the hard sciences that is largely unknown to academia. You can start 100 arguments with that offering, but it's worth debating. It's worth discussing. Yeah, the philosophy of science is intimately related to the replication crisis. And I think in 2 days I can lay that out with enough fruit. Well, my goal was this. I think this material is inherently profound, but what I have to do is make it interesting and accessible and entertaining. And I think I can pull that off.
What are the three pieces? Interesting, accessible, and entertaining?
I'm claiming its profundity, so I need to be able to show that, but it needs to be accessible and entertaining.
Are you concerned that one of the cool things, obviously, about the CrossFit seminar is that you got to get up and move in between the lectures?
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is have a hard break at the hour, and I don't know what it'll be, but you're going to have to get out and get some air. Because I'm going to try and share everything I know about philosophy of science in 2 days.
How close are we to the first one of these?
January.
And would you have any idea what state it would be in?
I think I need to do this in the new gym in Scottsdale. The weather will be perfect. We can plan on that now.
Okay.
So we're very close to just picking a day, and I thought I'd seed it with, it just felt right. I don't want anyone to think this is me getting to the fitness space, although Emily and friends aren't going to be able to leave that alone for obvious reason, because there's this huge unclaimed turf in the realization that your lifestyle choices, chiefly what's for dinner and what movement are you doing, are the determinants of the variables that are your health.
And will that also be part of Broken Science?
Well, yeah, it is. It is. It's there's something, we're not getting any guidance on exercise or nutrition of any value out of the university or out of the CDC. Why? Okay, that's my side of the equation. What you should be doing, you already know, and that part kind of bores me. A little bit boring.
Guidance regarding nutrition and movement from CDC is non-existent.
Hey, from the NSCA on movement. I said, look, there was a point where I had Essentials of Strength and Conditioning memorized, the NSCA textbook that William Kramer edits. I had that thing memorized. You could just go into any paragraph and I'll just take even the shit on Krebs citric acid cycle. And I said, but I did that after having been trained for 15 years and 5 years as a gymnastics coach. And so I knew I was reading its deficiencies, but I wanted to play your qualified game by being able to parrot that shit, right?
Yeah.
But what I said is there's nothing in here that's going to tell me what to do Monday morning if I got a client. Not one fucking thing. They got the PAR-Q, the stupid quiz about their health, but now what? Nothing. Much of their offering was technically incorrect on the movements. What little was there was wrong. I mean, look, we got their founder, the founder of that thing, squatting at a Smith machine overloaded. Overweight, overloaded Smith machine squatting. What else do you need to know? That's like a gun range being run by Alec Baldwin, I mean, it's insane. Hard to believe that's real.
Grace, wow, generous donation. Quoting Greg, profundity.
Yeah, we can derive the primary purpose, if not the sole purpose, to use Dean Smith's words from 2014, of a primary purpose, if not the sole purpose of an education, is to know when people are talking rot. And that has never been more important than now.
You should sell a device like the Scientologists have. It's like a bullshit. You know what I mean? Like a bullshit tester. Like you are speaking rot. The machine says so. Become an NSCA certified trained instructor today, so you can teach someone how to sit down on a fixed machine and only use its restricted movement patterns. An unnamed head of the FDA told me that they basically do nothing. He wasn't joking. Did you see someone said that the FDA was 50% funded by like pharma or big food? I can't remember. And the FDA put out a correction. No, it's 47% funded. It's fucking great.
What's her name from the New England Journal of Medicine? editor for 20 years.
Not the Smith guy.
No, I was British Medical Journal, but over the same tenure, same kind of time period.
Was she the CEO over there, or what was she?
I'll just tell you her name. 20-year head of. It's I would only.
Someone will find it in the comments before we do it.
Someone find it for me. And I mention her because it's worth reading anything and everything she's written on medicine. But she claimed in the 90s that the regulatory capture of the FDA by pharma was 100%. That it was 100%. That nothing came out, nothing was approved, nothing denied that wasn't engineered by the pharma industry.
Oh, Marcia Angle.
Yes. It's impressive how intelligent she, the Lancet guy, and Richard Smith are of of New England Journal of Medicine. I'm sorry, a British Medical Journal. But those three have a pretty deep understanding of what's gone wrong in medical research.
She says similar conflicts of interest and bias exist in virtually every field of medicine, particularly those that rely heavily on drugs or devices. It is simply no longer possible to believe much of the clinical research that is published, or to rely on the judgment of trusted physicians or authoritative medical guidelines. I take no pleasure in this conclusion, which I reached slowly and reluctantly over my 2 decades as editor of the New England Journal of Medicine. Wow. Damn.
Guy just 2 years ago that edited a prominent journal on anesthesiology said that we are now at a point where you have to believe that every clinical trial you're told of is fraudulent unless you can demonstrate otherwise. Every clinical trial is fraudulent unless you can demonstrate otherwise. What they found out is that something like a fifth of clinical trials never took place.
They're just lies?
Didn't even happen.
Holy shit.
And then there's zombie ones that the reported data suggests a problem in methodology so gross that it has to be dismissed.
In 2000, on a public broadcasting special, she said, if we had to set out to design the worst system that we could imagine, we couldn't have imagined one as bad as what we have. She urges the nation to scrap its failing healthcare system and start over. The FDA collects over $300 million a year from these companies. Basically, it bribes. That was in 1990.
Line it was of continuous use to me, and that is that we don't have a healthcare system. We have a disease economy, and an outbreak of wellness could collapse the whole thing.
Oh, wow. An outbreak of wellness.
Could collapse the whole system.
Which would be why everyone would hate CrossFit. It's not only the solution with words, but little bases all over the planet where you can go and start practicing.
90% of the medical spend should have been something else should have been done.
Man.
You know, this whole world, it's less. This whole scenario is less gloomy when you see more of it. I had a great talk with Bobby Kennedy yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Emily got us on the phone again.
Did you FaceTime or just voice?
Zoom call.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'd like to see more of him. I was proud of him for what he did in this election cycle, and it's funny. His support for Trump helps put a smile on my face when I vote for the guy.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah. I go, and instead of holding my nose and making my mark, I get to laugh. Remember when I told that when we started off, someone told me, "Hey, you vote for support RFK, you're just voting for Trump." And I go, "It's like a dog shit bag. I mean, I like it." And so here we are. Now he's supporting Trump.
Did he seem like he was in a good place?
I think I brought him up because I think like me, I think that some of us would rather see what's wrong and find it intractable than to just be confused. It's hard when you don't know that all that's wrong is wrong on purpose. It's hugely liberating to like, got it. And it's part of this rot detection. You learn, like, this was the discussion yesterday. You won't be fooled by public health again. If you really figured out what happened here.
Hey, isn't that the definition of conspiracy? Or the one that they would like you to use when you realize what's wrong is not wrong, is wrong on purpose? Then right there, you're a conspiracy theorist.
I don't know, but I know that men engaged in conspiracy love the idea that calling something a conspiracy theory is somehow dismissive.
Right.
You saw the meme. The best thing about being a right-wing conspiracy theorist is you don't get myocarditis. It took Greg Gutfeld to point out to me there are no left memes. They can't meme. They want to ban them.
That's the greatest Gutfield up of all time. That's like one of the greatest things. That should go in the pantheon of just
Isn't
amazing.
that good?
Yeah, that's a brilliant lecture he gives. That's a brilliant lecture.
I will like him forever just for that. I mean, and it was the first time I realized that he wants to be funnier than he is smart, and he's not going to be able to do it. And he's funny, but he's really fucking smart.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great piece that needs to be brought up and pushed around.
Yeah, that was amazing. Hey, I know I ask you this every single fucking day, sometimes twice a day, but when are you coming here?
Oh, in a couple of days.
Yeah. Are you coming on by a land or air?
I'm gonna drive my AEV, the big white truck, and I'm bringing Rip and some boxes and Rhett. And I think I'm truly at a point here where I'm migrating with less and less stuff. Everything I want to pack, I'm just ordering one and having it sent there. But I'll be there within a couple of days.
Okay. Tomorrow I go away for a couple of days, but just to Sacramento.
Yeah.
But my family will be here, my kids and all that shit. They're chomping at the bit. I saw the video of Riley with her white belt putting the smackdown on a yellow belt.
Yeah, you know it's funny is Maggie's going, well, they're putting a smackdown on these kids with yellow belts. I go, yeah, but those yellow belts, their dad's a hairdresser.
Oh,
that's not even cool to say.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, there were the couple kids at my house the other day, and one of the kids started like misbehaving, and one of my sons said, "Do you remember the time you were over here and you told Rhett that he couldn't beat you up?" And the kid like just right away like put his head down and stopped fucking around. And I asked my kids later, I'm like, "What happened?" I'm like, "That kid told Rhett one time when they were at the house that Rhett couldn't choke him out." I go, "What happened?" He's like, "Rhett choked him out."
Let me tell you what Rhett has going.
I'm just like, damn. And this kid's a year older than Rhett.
Rhett's tough, but there's much tougher. But Rhett has something going for him that is of extraordinary value in developing a fighter, and that is he doesn't mind getting beat up. He'll quickly get mad to the point where nothing matters.
Mm.
And his sister has provided him with plenty of opportunity to lose his temper and get beat up.
Oh, right. Work the two modes together.
And so yeah, he'll stand up to anybody. And his sister's the same way too. I'm really proud of all my kids in that regard.
Didn't you? I was privy to a conversation you and Tony Blauer had about that one time. I can't remember what it was, but you were basically like, "Yeah, you know the problem with fight. You know why people don't want to fight because they don't want to lose or something like that." What was that? Right. Do you remember that discussion?
Right. Yeah. Tony found that to be profound. He's taken that on the road with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody that doesn't like to fight. There's just people that don't want to get beat up. They're terrified of losing a fight.
Right.
But once that goes away, you got something special. You kind of go into the hold my beer, watch this. He's gonna kick your ass. Oh wow, you watch.
Right.
And often it doesn't happen. Especially with bullies. You saw that old man I sent you that video clip with the
Oh, crazy. I sent that to all my kids' instructors. Yeah.
Isn't that really good?
Yeah, she said it's world. The one of their McKenna, the pretty Asian girl, is a professional.
Yep.
She was just like, dude. And she said all the same stuff that you said. Like, hey man, you're dangerous if you could do that.
You could poke a guy like that asleep and he could be in a dream and have hit you 7 times in the mouth before he came to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit sits at some reflex level that's super gnarly. And the contact doesn't be hard, but just repetitive. Bam, 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 bam. You just got hit in the face 5 times.
Right.
And you're done. You won't stand up to it.
Let me see if I can.
And, it's that way in a prize fight, too. At any point that someone's made contact, say, 5 times in 11 seconds,
the
fight's about to end.
Right. Oh, here it is. I'll play this. This is good. I think this guy was, I forget, she knew him. She knew of him.
He's worked with everybody.
3 from here, from the back, you hear 3. Now the rhythm changes when I do this. That's 2 rebounds. Fist hits the bag, 1, 2, and comes back. Single fist here, you hear that beat, changes. Double fist through, single fist rolling. That would be a little drum tape.
Yeah.
3 from here.
That's interesting. And she picked up right away. She said, hey, that's like all the senses working at the same time. She's like, he's listening, he's feeling. She's like, that's like some fucking wicked, like,
dude, it's
compilation of
that has all the strengths. It's coming across that. It's like reaching into the garbage disposal, trying to grab a ball bearing, while it's running. It's just not going to work out for you.
Frank, what took you so long, buddy? YouTube member, you're a good dude. When can we expect a competing brand name that affiliates can unite under from Coach Glassman? BSI now that his non-compete is up.
What's funny is I'm on a science side of a guy at a house that has some science people on it that want to be on the fitness side of things. We got Emily's Bob Kaplan working with us, and Bobby has been he's one of my favorite people to introduce to anybody, especially science guys. And
You like to introduce them to science guys because it's like throwing a fucking 20-pound steel weight in the wood chipper, and you want to just sit back and see what happens.
You know, I sent him to go talk with Seafried, and he took Seafried's oncology 550 graduate course in cancer metabolics or whatever it is, and he came away and said that Bob Kaplan is the smartest. He told me he's the smartest student I've ever taught in 40 years in front of kids. By far the best student I've ever had. And then
crazy.
co-authors a paper with him a year or two later. How's that for impressing the professor? But he's great. And he wants to be in that fitness space. And I'd like to be in the epistemology thing. If I didn't ever have to watch another deadlift again, it would be okay for me. So, but you know what? I have vast, keen appreciation for what happens in the box. You guys are the most important part of your community in terms of health and well-being of people. I'm giving fuzzy answers, but I'm part of something that's coming up here. I just don't speak well to it because I don't follow it. You know, I don't spend a lot of time on the Broken Science site because I put in 12 hours a day curating material and positions for it. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, what that site is, it's a repository for reliable information on the philosophy of science and an examination of broken science. There's so many things that can be done there that no one person can do them all. But I'm proud of the curation already.
Andrew Hiller, Frank, go suck on a doorknob. Please, Andrew, don't speak to my high-paying members like that. How dare you? How dare you, Mr. Hiller? Andrew, look at the article I just sent you. Please, Andrew, please. I wonder if I could get my mouth around a doorknob. You ever seen anyone put their mouth around a doorknob?
Not voluntarily.
This friend of mine, I don't remember if I showed you the video or not, but you know this friend and you like him, and he's very lethal. And there was a tenant staying at his boss's house who
I know all the people
hadn't paid rent, and he went over there and took one of those fucking Theraguns and put it in the fucking dude's mouth and turned it on.
That sends a message.
Oh my God, that sounds fucking horrible.
I had someone tell me, dude, you'll never get over the sounds of Harley Davidsons in your living room. Nothing can prepare you for that.
Like they just ride in the front door?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I gotta go. It's I'm gonna breastfeed when Maggie gets a massage.
You're gonna breastfeed? Well, you're gonna breastfeed while Maggie gets a massage. And when I mean
it into a bottle, and I'm on duty.
How are her boobs? On a side note, are they crazy?
Yeah, they're runaway. You know.
Yeah.
She's a producer.
Yeah, that's cool. The morning's crazy, right? When they're all full and shit, you're just like, what the fuck?
She hears the thing grunt on the monitor and starts dripping. It's true.
You should be in bed and just like kick a bucket over to her tits, like to catch the drip. Boof.
Yeah, you hear this, and she's, oh no, you know.
Drip. All right. Love you. I'll talk to you later today.
Yeah, and when do you get back?
The event, I'm going to hang out there with a bunch of buddies and film them until Sunday. The event's over Sunday. I think I'll drive home Sunday night.
I'll be there before then. So
no shit.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be driving through. Maybe there's
dude, if you drove through Sacramento and you stopped, dude, that would be crazy. That would be so cool.
Yeah,
I mean, no pressure. I know it's a long ride.
So my tolerance for off path and duration of stay will be really tight. But I'll hit you up.
Okay, cool. All right, dude.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you from Greg to everyone. Oh, I gotta piss so bad. I have to pee. I wonder if Taylor wants to come in here. Let me see what's going on with my rental car. Wait, what? I'm leaving for the dentist at 10. Taylor's about to work out. What is this? My wife sent me this. When we're conscious with every step, the making of the tea is not a means to an end. It's becoming a work of art. Did Taylor already start working out? I kind of want to go. You want me to go in there and Instagram live that? Let me see what he's doing. God, I got to pee so bad. I have to be in Sacramento. Just got a text from NorCal Classic. Your parking pass will be pick up anytime. Oh, okay. I am driving into town tomorrow morning. Hopefully get there by 11 a.m. I wonder how far that is. Okay. NorCal Classic, going there tomorrow. Ben Alderman and Blair Morrison's event. Where is that? Oh, there's some. Where is that? Show me where that is. All right. What is this? Let me see this. Oh, I don't even get that. People send me memes I don't get. That doesn't surprise anyone. Are you staying Folsom? Folsom? I don't know where we're staying. We got a Airbnb there. I need to look at the address. Taylor's here in my garage right now. I think I hear him working out. Most people don't understand real humor. I know. That was so funny the other day when you said something in the comments and someone thought you were serious. Pee on the stream will get like the train going. Huh. Sevon, read the book Nuclear. Let us know your thoughts. Nuclear? Should I listen to it on the drive up? Make Taylor listen to it too? Is it good? Is it easy? Nuclear. I see nuclear war. Nuclear. The Untold Story of America's First Nuclear Accident. Nuclear weapons. I don't see nuclear. Oh, I don't know if I can read a nuclear war book. I think Greg has that book. Did that just come out? I saw it on his desk somewhere, and I was like, Jesus Christ, really? You want me to read that? Sorry, Cheese and Crackers, really? Sevi, I hope you have fun at NorCal. I'm going to have so much fun. Last year, Dave took me up there, Castro. I wonder if he'll go this year. I should call him and ask him. Dildo, if you watch TV shows that have laugh tracks that basically tell you when to laugh, you don't understand real humor. But what if you're laughing at the laugh tracks? Oh, shit. All right. I have to pee, but I have to show you this too. I just have to. You guys ready? This is from CNN. Here you go.
Story about someone getting a DUI arrest and then his campaign repeatedly misleading and giving false statements to the public about it. So let's just go to the facts of that 1995 arrest first, okay? Waltz was speeding over 95 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. He failed a field sobriety test that was administered by a state trooper. He then admitted in court that he had been drinking. He was transported to a local hospital for a blood test that showed he had a blood alcohol level of 0.128, and that was above the state legal limit. He then took a plea deal where he pled guilty to a reckless driving charge. Now, those are the facts.
No big deal. It's almost double the legal limit in California, but you know, you're out drinking, you get stupid, you speed, you get a ticket. I don't have a DUI, but like, who am I to judge? All right, fuck it. So you're drinking and driving, you get busted. All right.
That's from police records, that's from court records, and that all is completely undisputed.
All right, so that is clear. The idea of what happened. What did his congressional campaign actually?
Look, no big deal. So Bill Clinton fucking jerked off on a fucking intern's dress in the White House. No big deal. Guys do that. You stick a cigar in some chick's pussy. Not my thing. Sounds like it would irritate the vagina, but you know, like, okay. You know, dudes do shit. You drink and drive. You fuck interns. Like, I don't do it, but you know, like, who am I to judge? Whatever. Shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't hating. It doesn't mean it's a bad person. Oh, the fucking intern's kind of, she was too young to fuck. But or like stick a cigar in or anything like that. But anyway, okay.
Say happened.
By the way, if you're not interested in this story, you can watch Frank and Andrew fight in the comments. It's fucking brilliant.
So let's fast forward to 2006. He's in a tight congressional race. He is running for Congress. This was a Republican-held district that he was trying to flip. And then a local Republican blog puts up that he had this arrest for drunk driving. Now, I'm going to give you sort of the bullets of what his campaign said about that. The campaign Setting Walls claimed that he had not been drinking and driving. They attributed his failed field sobriety test to hearing loss from his time in the National Guard, not alcohol. The campaign falsely said that he drove himself to the station, that he was allowed to drive home. They said the DUI charges were dropped because they were unfounded. And the campaign even faulted this trooper for saying that he didn't realize that Walls had hearing impairment. They claimed a judge actually chastised the state trooper for it. Now take a look at just one statement that his campaign put out. They said he, quote, couldn't understand what the trooper was telling him during the field sobriety test, and the trooper refused to speak up. The DUI charges were dropped for a reason. The judge would not have dismissed them if there were anything to him. Tim drove to the station that night and drove home afterwards. I don't think the trooper would have allowed that if there had been a problem. So none of what they said in that 2006 race was true at all, as we saw in just looking at.
So would you rather, this guy is just a fucking liar. So anytime someone says, well, Trump's a liar, his building's only worth 125 million, not 300 million. He's a liar. It's not the best economy in the world. It's the second best economy in the world. Just remember the kind of lies. I'm perfectly okay if you tell me your Ferrari cost $300,000 and you rounded it up from 250. Whatever. But this guy is a fucking lying piece of shit. You know what it stinks of? It reminds me of the guy who was the Tour de France winner. Like, your lying is blaming other people. There's a huge fucking distinction between just lying and lying to blame other people. He's blaming it on the fucking cop. He's blaming it on the fucking cop, but it's just a fucking lie. It reminds me of when that Tour de France guy, I can't remember his name, was suing a journalist for saying that he was taking drugs for like fucking $500 million or something crazy like that. God, Tim Walz is yeah, exactly, Bernie. Tim Walz is a low integrity individual, will lie and cheat and steal for his own advantage. Yeah, I don't even mind that. It's just the fucking blaming other people. It's like, God, you're a scumbag. Armstrong, thank you. Mr. Lance Armstrong, yeah. It's like, dude, lie all you want, but why are you fucking other people along the way? All right. Don't stick a cigar in anyone. It can't be good for the vagina. Don't bang chicks under 30. That's my those are my recommendations for the day. All right. Love you guys. I'm going to be on later on today. I'm going to go get I can hear Taylor working out in the garage. I'm going to go hang out with him and my boys. Then I'm going to go pick up our rental car, and then I'm going to see if I can get Taylor to come on the podcast. I want to go through a bunch of comments, just ass pound some people. So if you want to watch just a really crazy, aggressive show, we're going to get all jacked up on Fit 8 or something, and hopefully come in here and just go crazy. That show is not for everyone, by the way. I know some of you just don't like us talking about gaping people, but whatever. Love you guys. Can we leave this on so Frank and Hiller can keep going? No, I'm going to call Hiller, actually. I got some funny shit to tell him. All right. Love you guys. Frank, thanks for the membership. Peace out.